Alright, I'm going to see about working on my plot today a little bit. A couple hours at least. I started to do a few things this morning. Oops. Visited someone's plot, and whenever you do that, usually the UI goes a little squirrely, so you have to kind of reload it to get it to work right. Anyway, I was working on it this morning a little bit. I was mostly buying some items that I knew I needed. I did a little bit of crafting for some new pieces. And yesterday, on yesterday's show, I did a little bit of work here in the eatery, snack bar, food court. I don't know what to call it. I keep calling it something different. It's a place where the guests can come and buy foods and drinks and take a little break while they're enjoying spending the day at the park. And they get a nice view of others going through. And so yeah, that's what we're going to work on today, I think. I had started it over here, and then I got to thinking, well, I'm going to have some kind of restroom facilities for my guests. So I've been playing with the idea of maybe building in a little boxed-in area here and using these as like the doors to the restrooms. I'm not gonna like get elaborate and have it open so that you can see the toilet paper and the stool and all that. It's just gonna be an implied kind of setup. Yeah, I think I put in a new ship hand locker. Yeah. So it's. I figured I could put it here in this corner. I started to think maybe I'll put it in the far corner, but this way it's like right here, and I'll box it in with some more of the Draken walls, I think, or doors, and just kind of make it look a little cleaner. And I had originally had the food area starting here, and I decided I was going to focus on putting it on this end. And I will probably extend it. What I have here, I'm probably going to triple or quadruple what I've got. At least triple the roof. I've got enough of these dividers that I can extend it out for 3 more to go here. And then I'm just going to build this up so that it extends the entire way. And the idea is it's going to be kind of like you have your tray, and you go down the line and say, I want this, and it's kind of like a luncheon kind of thing, but I'm gonna try and set up a lot of different kind of little snacks. So we'll see how it goes. First, we'll just go ahead and put this toilet in just to get it where I want it. One of the things I have trouble with is I tend to skip around on certain things. I'll get distracted, and I'll like place things here, and then I'll think, well, I need this, and then I forget to write it down, and then later I go, didn't I have something planned for that? And I'll forget what it was. But we'll try and stay consistent with working on just the eatery today. So let's see if I got the dividers in. Yes, I do. Pop those out, and hopefully my copy paste works smoothly today. Yesterday it was giving me a lot of trouble. So fingers crossed we're able to just keep things moving along without too much playing hide. Where's the item? Where did it go? Copy that one. Now, anyone that was watching yesterday will probably notice that I've changed how I'm doing the roof of the little snack bar here. I had played around with it some more after I stopped streaming yesterday, once the realms were back up to play. And I just got perturbed with it. It wasn't, the pieces weren't meshing like I wanted. I was having to add a lot of extra pieces just to try and hide certain things because I had been using like the red shop awning because I wanted like the little dangly bells, and there was pieces sticking out everywhere, and I was having to use a lot of extra pieces in order to cover those up, and that was just kind of I just want to keep it as simple and clean and not have to do a lot of clutter cover because that eats up your decor count too, and I would rather avoid that if I can. And this kind of goes in with the metal look as well, so this is a nice piece. Probably better for like a sushi bar, but we're gonna go with it. So I'm using the Adventure Awaits poster for my countertop here. So I'm gonna try and just extend this out to go all the way across underneath the roofing here. The little awning. I'm just gonna lay a few out just to make it easier to grab and go. Sometimes that's a good idea, sometimes not. Like yesterday, I was working on the parasols, and I'd put down a bunch of plates, and then I thought I'd run out and got myself another one. And this morning, when I come in, I found a plate on the floor. I guess I had zoomed out enough where I didn't even see it, and when I zoomed in, there it was, and I was like, well, there's an extra plate I've got. So, kind of keep track of what you put out and how, if you actually use it or not, because you don't want like stray pieces just getting lost in the mix. I do a lot of zooming in, zooming out. It's just to kind of, get a better idea, especially when it's kind of dark here. You want to make sure everything's square. And I try to avoid having my items flicker, and that's usually caused by the item being the same exact size, and it's kind of like the two things trying to occupy the same space to fight for attention. So either you offset it by a little bit, or you modify the size just by a little fraction, just to get it to quit flickering like that. But for some of the items like these, if you can butt it up just against it, it looks solid, but it's just enough that it doesn't flicker like it does there. So you can see the flicker. And you don't want that. That's, not an appealing part of a build. You just want to get rid of the flicker. Now, if you see, this is going to probably pose a problem for me because it doesn't want to sink all the way down. Yet, I don't want to change the width of it too much. But it looks like I'm going to have to because the size of it just doesn't want to sink into the floor. It just stops. So, we're going to try it at 4.5. Just a little bit of a difference, see if we can sneak it in. And we'll just keep doing that until we find a size that it's willing to accept, and then we'll adjust the rest of it all back to the same so it's similar. That's just one of the issues, like specifically when you're working with the outdoor ground, depending on, I think it's more like the position of where the movement tool is, where it's specifically located on, in relation to the item that you're trying to move. Like the makeshift bulletin boards, the controller's at the very bottom of the item. So if I turn it upside down, I can sink that all the way through the floor, and pretty big size. I mean, that's what I'm using for the rocks for the golf course. And I think it's because the tool where the arrows are, the little node that is the positioner for that particular item is located in such a way that it still thinks it's pretty considerably up above the ground. When you have an item that's got it positioned differently, it seems to behave a bit more restrictive. Like this one, it seems to be located right in the middle. So once I hit a certain point in the depth of the ground where this is, then it just says, no, we're not going any further. We just keep adjusting until we get it about the height we want, because I've got it at the right, I think at a good height for my character. If you look, she's kind of like almost face even with the top of the countertop, and I'm okay with that because most of the characters that are available are considerably taller than Orin, and this isn't just an Orin only place. It's meant to be like a public facility, so I'm going to cater to the majority size. I think we're almost to the point where it's gonna fit finally. All this really means is probably I will be using maybe an extra piece more than I had planned. Let's just bring that down one more step. Yeah, so see, it's not a real big difference in the width here, but it is going to be a little bit shorter in length. So now that we've changed that and got it to fit, hopefully we won't have to adjust it anymore as we go further down. But we need to set these up the same way. I'm just double checking the height. It's 7. Just to get it the same all the way across. So now I need to tweak this so that it covers up the corner and it's overlapped just like I want. Flush with this end here. And that's part of the thing, you know, you think you might have, you set something up with the size that you think you want it, and then you discover that it's not going to work exactly like you want, because you find some little hidden thing like the underground limitations for how far I can sink these particular pieces. So it doesn't always happen, but there are certain, like I said, I think it's something to do with the where the tool is positioned on the item itself. So there, now we're kind of back to where we were. Now I want to see if I can continue extending and not have any issues with the depth again. I've got a guildmate, he's having similar troubles, I guess, with how he's placing items. He was talking about something like he could glitch it out a certain way and make it sink in like really far, and now he can't do that, and so he's a little confused about the rules according to how things are set up. For me, I've found some glitchy items, like I know, well, the last time I checked, for instance, like the hay bale, the hay pile, and I think even the treasure pile. Um, when you have them, when you put them in the world, it looks like, you know, a pile of hay or a pile of treasure. But if you turn them over, they're like hollow. They come up like invisible. And for the treasure pile specifically, the gold itself is invisible, but like the vases and the little trinkets that are included in the pile, those are partially visible. So those are like glitchy items, and sometimes people can find ways to utilize those kind of glitches uh, to their benefit to make, create something a little different and stuff. But then, it kind of goes to pot if uh, Carbine uh, on the low fixes it. Because, I'm sure they get hundreds and hundreds of bug reports about things that are spelt wrong, or they're positioned inappropriately, or uh, the size comes in funny, or the rotation's a little off. Um, and it takes time to fix all of those. And there are ones, they're going to fix the ones that are higher on their priority. If it's like a game breaking bug or glitch, then they're going to fix that long before they fix the spelling error. And so a lot of people will take advantage or utilize these glitchy items and use them in their builds. And then when Carbine does get around to fixing these minor issues, it kind of throws everything off. At one point we had walls that when you put them down, you could size them really huge, and they modified that so that it wouldn't be that way. So everybody that had them already on their plot, it just kind of threw off their build when it auto adjusted after the change. And it's unfortunate. It's a little, time consuming to go around and fix, but it's just one of the things. Hopefully they don't have too many more of those types of, where did he go? Back over here. Okay, now on this end, I kind of kept the end of the countertop just slightly within, just under, didn't have it sticking out. I'm going to try and match the same thing here. I don't know why that. Okay. Canceled that, and I think I've lost the poster somewhere. So let me check here. This is troublesome when you have a lot of pieces of the same thing. No way to specifically check. I don't know where that thing went. And they aren't in the order that you place them either, so is that the one? Let me go out there. I don't think I put one over there, so I think that's the one that got lost. Just take a little tour. Yep, that's our stray. So I'm just going to send him back to get him out of there. And that's what I mean. Be really careful if you've copy pasted something and you don't see where it went. It's probably out there on your plot somewhere, and you're going to have to hunt it up. Because you don't want to leave those things just sitting there, because one, that's another item that you've used that you might want to use in some other way, and two, it might not be in a hidden place. It might be just sticking out through somewhere that you don't want it. Oops. Let's see if I can get this done. I honestly think it's more to do with the hatch house. The more I read comments and things in the forum, specifically the housing section, the more I'm convinced that the the hatch house just has a lot of underlying issues that Carbine is still needing to address because it just really behaves weirdly. The items when you go to place them or when you go to move linked items. In fact, yesterday evening after I got back online, when the realms come back up, and I was checking out how I had this little part that I had already had built, I tried to move it all in one piece from here to over here, and I went through the trouble of linking all the pieces. Well, I linked them all, and then when I moved them, all but the little grill here and one of the boxes disappeared, and they moved linked way over here on the other side of that wall. It was freaky. And usually, if you cancel a thing, it'll revert it back to its original position. And for whatever reason, these aren't doing that. They aren't behaving in that way. And it can really mess you up because what happened was after I come back over on the other side and grab those, um, I tried to move them again and they just started rotating in weird uh, angles. And then when I unclicked it, half of those disappeared. So there was like parts of it over here, parts of it over there, and other parts in other areas. And I had to hunt up every individual item and get it to come back here. And then I moved it piece by piece by piece over to the other side. And that was a pain in the rear. I was glad that wasn't on stream because I was a little upset after that. Like, it's not working right. You know, I try to encourage people not to let things get to them. And I admit there are times when, yeah, I want to pull my own hair out. But after a few minutes, I said, okay, I'm going to take a break. And I came back probably about an hour or so later and peacefully moved things like I wanted and then kind of devised a plan about how I wanted to attack it today. And that's just kind of have, things you deal with. Just take it step at a time. Go with the flow. You might, those that saw it earlier, I had an extra box here and I just went ahead and got rid of it. And by lifting it, the whole countertop up, I was able to get these handles to be a little more visible. So I'm just going to leave them. I'm keeping it simple back here. I know a lot of people like to add details on areas, but I think I'm just going to leave them like they are, and not get too into like shelves and having like a stock of food or bags or whatever. I'm mainly going to decorate the countertop with different things, I think. I'm also considering like pretending like there is a kitchen facility that is built into the wall here. I'm going to have like a solid wall of to kind of hide this gap here, and then I'll add a few doors to imply that there's more to the structure than you see that you have access to, and just forego having to put out a lot of stove tops and things like that. I want to add my details in other places. Like I'm planning on, I'd like to add a section here that includes like maybe some tubs of ice cream. How I'm going to pull that off, I have absolutely no idea, but it's, a thought that I would like to try and do. And I've tried to do popcorn before, which it's really tough to find items that would look popcorny, but I think I've figured out a way that I'm going to attempt it again. I did it once before when I had, I think it was in beta, It might have been shortly after beta was done. Um, I had made an in-home movie theater, and I wanted a bowl of popcorn on the couch, so that when people come to watch the little movies, that they'd have something to snack on. And I ended up using, I think it was the hanging fruit, and I just shrunk it down to as small as it'd go, and it looked like little brown berries kind of things. So that was my popcorn. It was kind of like, it looked like dog food, really, is what it looked like. But uh, that was my attempt at creating some food, because we don't really have a lot of variety of food items yet. I mean, we have some, but there are so many more that they could add that would be helpful. And you just kind of have to work with the pieces that you've got to try and create new things. I made a pizza before, and that actually turned out really nice. I will probably replicate it again at some point. Um, and I've made cakes, uh, and of course, lots of people have, used the different plants and stuff to make like salads and things like that. But I had a bowl of rice with some chopsticks once, I think. But it's interesting to come up with new types of foods and have them be readily, recognizable. That's the tricky part, is having people get that, hey, that's what this is. And oops, but I think that there's just a little area here just is angry at me. Don't want to work right. Um, so like we have bread. I've made sandwiches before. I know there's an actual sandwich prop. I think it's on the customization station. There's an actual sandwich that's on and I would really love to have the sandwich. Forget the station. I just want the sandwich. And the stacks of clothes that are on there. But I took two of the toasts and I put like a plushy carrot in there to give me the lettuce. And then I put, I don't know what else, a couple of other things just to add, some different colors, and made it look like, like either an egg sandwich or some kind of a mystery meat. But you'll see some people that will do those, and then others that just stick with the pig platter. And we have like the steaks and the marbled, looks like, I don't know, a leg of something. Those are nice, but all of them are raw. Same with the chicken, the hen or whatever it is. I would love to see cooked versions of those. Have like a golden roasted bird on a platter, and the steaks well done, cooked to perfection. Because kind of gross to put a slab of meat on a plate and then go, here, this is what you're having, and it still look raw. I can't even stand that in real life, so I don't even want to touch it in game. It's a very long counter. I may end up finding out this just too long, there's too much to fill it up with, and it doesn't make sense to have it that long. But for now, I'm putting it in, and going with it. And if it turns out that it's just too much, then I'll reduce the size. I'm not averse to changing my mind. I do that a lot. I'll show another example of that later, but for now we're going to stick with the food court. Okay, need to delete a few things to make room for more. Something else I can get rid of. Let's get some of these hanging chains out. That's again, I would love a lot more storage space. At least, with the storage space, that's not taking up. I mean, it's the data that's sitting there ready to be accessed, but it's not like I've got it placed on my plot. If they're concerned about performance issues due to how much decor you have out here, and they just absolutely refuse to give us and extra on that, I would at least enjoy extra storage space, because while it's okay to go ahead and delete, um, or it's not okay, it's just bearable to delete stuff that I can just buy again later if I need it again. It's a real like a mini crisis for me. Why is way out there again? When I have to think about deleting something that is a little more difficult to obtain, or maybe it was expensive to buy. I mean, something that costs, several thousand renown, not everybody's going to be willing to spend that amount every time they want it. They want to purchase it once and then just reuse it and have it always available. But, when you start running out of space, you have to rethink that. What can I get rid of comfortably? I probably sound like I'm harping on that all the time, but it's a thing for me that I would really like to see changed or addressed. Okay, probably about maybe 2 or 3 more. I think probably 2 more pieces for the top. And I'm just kind of just trudging along here. Later, I may go in and see something slightly off alignment and have to readjust it again, and that's okay. For me, housing, no matter if I call it done or not, it's really never done. There's always adjustments you can make. Maybe I decide I don't like the type of countertop. Now see how this is blinking still? I'm gonna have to tweak that just a touch to get it to stop. Now let's not change let's see about adjusting the height here. And it's just enough, or it's not too noticeable. I mean, you can see it, but it's not that big of a pain for me. But it's slightly misaligned. You have to really come in close and just be staring at it and go, that's not right, and have it, bug you. So I need one more on the end, but I'm going to leave it open for now, just to kind of see. I'm looking at where I might want to put things. Like, we'll probably have the register here. So I think I've got a. Yeah. Now, I want this, I'm going to turn it a little different, and it's probably going to bother some people because I think you're still going to be able to see the little antenna on the top. But the way I want it to look, it's just gonna be kind of sticking out. And then we're just gonna tilt it. So it looks like it's, attached to the countertop. Oops. But it's, not. It just looks like it is. Don't know if that's the right size yet. I'm just kind of fiddling with it. But see what I mean by the antenna is sticking out? For some people, that's going to be irksome. But I think for me, maybe if I just tuck it in a little more, it won't be too noticeable. There, yeah, I think that'll work. And that'll be like the little checkout thing, but I'm going to have it push it in here. Have it right on the edge. Let's see, and then the idea is to have this little rack going all the length. Because you know, it's like in the lunch garden or something. You pick up your trays, and then you move along, and you get the bits that you want. Whether it be for here, it would be like a hot dog or a bucket of popcorn and maybe a salad or something. You know, who knows what I'm gonna slap in here. So as I've seen others do, and I thought was really clever, I'm going to use the curved glass to make like the sneeze guard. And I think comes in huge. Now what I'm hoping is that I can size it down to suit the size of my countertop. If not, then I'm going to be in trouble, I think. I'll have to rethink how I want to do that. But it looks like I'm going to get away. It almost behaves as if I planned it this way all along, but really I was just eyeballing the size and how I wanted it. We're going to put it like to be about half. You know, I don't want the whole thing covered, just the part where the guest would be, you know, hacking all over it. We don't want them hacking on it. Just tuck it in a bit like that, and it'll work good. Now, you see that I didn't take it to the end, because here is where I want like the trays to be stacked, and maybe some forks and knives sitting here that they can pick up and put on their tray. And then as they go down the line, then that's, you know, all the items that they'll see. But this is what I'm talking about, details. It's gonna start eating up the item count just to get all of this in. So I may end up, you know, thinking, well, I'm just gonna put in a few things and cut this maybe instead of 6 sections, I'll just have down to 4 and have it right about here. Just make it that length. That way it stops before this. Maybe that would be a good idea, to break it before it hits here. So yeah, but we'll start and I would rather have too much and be able to take than to have too little and then having to extend it out again. Not crate, glass. Because especially like these pieces here, they're very versatile. I don't mind buying extras of them. Another one of those. Doesn't like coming over here, does it? Magic. So let's check. Just checking positions. 30, 30. So it lines it up a little better since it kind of went wonky as it tried to copy itself. And as I'm building, I'm in the back of my head, I'm thinking, what kind of items do I think I can make? I mean, if I wanted to put hot dogs, you know, what exactly am I going to use to make hot dogs? Um, I have absolutely no idea. And that's part of the goofiness of it, because you just kind of say, well, I want to make this, so now how do I make that possible? I know there's a like a chimney piece or something that looks like it has little hot dogs on a stick, but I don't think I could get away with putting that in and then trying to hide the rest. But I could, you know, I can have a look. There's no harm in looking and giving it a try. Because, you know, if you try something and then it doesn't work, it might give you an idea for something else. Let's see, what was that again? 3.67. Oops, 3.67. And then that was 30. Like now that I've got like one section, maybe I'll see about let's see if I've got that chimney that I'm talking about. I'm not sure what it's called. I think it's probably something Chua, because metal. No. Might be something I could craft. So if that's the case, I'll have to wait till the next time I go back to the town. Let me see if it's in the architect. Right. Oh, I can't think of it off the top of my head what it's called, but it looks like it has like little hot dogs on like metal spikes, and it's got like different ones. It's probably not really usable, but I could have like some bowls, some fruit bowls, you know, that'll get away, you know, kind of cheat on not having to come up with everything. Helps if they actually place. And why these things come in so huge, I don't know. Always so big. They go fruit bowls. Now I gotta figure out, okay, what's a good size for that? Does that look reasonable for a plate of food? I think so. So we'll leave it at that, and then we'll put it in. I don't want to do like one per glass, so that was 35, so 5. It doesn't necessarily have to be lined up, I guess. Some are a little bit more organized than me, but my little food shop is going to be not prim and proper. Have a little bit of. So there, you got a little fruit fruit bowl section where you can pick up some fruit bowls. And then maybe the next section will be salads. So we need some new bowls for that. We'll put down a few bowls of salad. Let's see, does the size pretty much match if I put it 35? See, that looks about the same, I guess. Yeah. So then, then we have a few fruit salad bowls. I say I'm not making it organized, but I'm kind of like zigzagging consistently. And again, I'm working in odd numbers. I'm doing like 3 per, just to, oops, did I do that? Just to, yeah, maybe that won't disappear later. Sometimes if you get that unable to place decor error and then you leave it alone, then it's no longer there when you come back the next time. Someone's asking about the blue flare. He's asking if there's a way to use the blue flare for like a steam effect, but like not have it so strong. And the only way I can think of to do that is like, say you have a stack of rock, and you're able to tuck the blue flare up inside part of the rock and have the steam coming down to make it look like whatever it's affecting is, got some steam rising up from it. The more distance there is between, what is trying to be steamy looking and where you actually have the blue flare, the intensity of the smoke is less because it's further away, so it's not showing up as much. But that's kind of awkward, hard to deal with, because like if you've got it sitting on the ground and it's like directly flush with the ground, you can't sink it in too far, because like I said, the limits on the depth of where you can sink certain things in, it reduces quite a bit. Plus the fact that you have to get the blue flare a pretty good size to be able to make a large puff of smoke appear. So the bigger it is, even the less distance you can sink it into the ground. So it's a tricky thing. It's not like we can adjust the effects, like if, say, a lamp, the light is so bright it looks like a spotlight. Like the, I can't think of this, the one that's got like a double cone of light. It's super bright. It would be nice if we had like a dimmer. We could, adjust, you want it bright, very bright, or low, or very low. Have different setting adjustments, but you can't always, you just have to work with how they come. And the blue flare is a great effect, but there's a lot of issues with it. Like the blue flare itself, it has that little pulsing, bright, like strobe light center of it. And that, even if you sink the flare itself into a wall or a large rock or something, you'll still see that strobe light pulse, and that can be distracting and annoying to try and hide as well. So, and of course, depending on how you position the blue flare, the smoke, maybe goes the wrong direction, or it doesn't, because it kind of like gets strong and then it lights up, gets strong again, and it moves a little bit. And depending on how you position the flare itself, the smoke might not behave like you're wanting it to. So, yeah. I get questions like that a lot, but I don't have the answer for all of them because I mean, a lot of it's trial and error. What you can figure out that works or not. Um, but it can be frustrating for a lot of people to try and figure out. Because for one, maybe they don't have the time. I have way too much time on my hands, so I can play around a lot more than others with certain items. Let's see. We're going to look to see if we can find something that'll look like salad. But I want something that, you know, easy to get. I have several of already. Don't have to constantly be buying stuff. Like this would probably be. Got several of those. Man, that comes in huge. I think it'll size down pretty good though. Now I don't want it like sticking like a big old wad like that. It's like eating a whole head of lettuce. So we're going to see if this will work. I'm worried that it'll probably show past the bowl itself. So it'll look like it's like, yeah, see, it looks like it's leaking out of the bowl. So I might have to like maybe resize the bowl a bit just to get it to look normal. Like a giant salad bowl. Supersized salad. Let's see. Maybe I have to think the bowl a bit just to fake it in. It's a plate of salad, maybe. I don't know. And I just keep tweaking it and fiddling with it until I get it. Well, that's like really big. I think I hit the wrong number. But you just kind of keep playing with it until you get it to how you like, works for you. You get it just right on one side, and then you see that it's messed up on the other, and a little bit bigger. That work. And like I said, always check things from all angles. See, I didn't see that from over there, but that's can't have the stray lettuce. But now that I've moved it, it's probably poking out on the other side. Yeah. So maybe I'll just have one big bowl of lettuce and then a couple of bowls next to it that they can fill up. Now is it all tucked in? Looks like it is. There you got like this little bowl of salad, and then just have a stack of bowls next to it that they can, you know, so that if somebody wants a little bit of salad, then they put a little bit into the bowl, and then boop, they're gone. Got a bowl of salad. Something like that. That's the idea anyway. You know, maybe I do away with that because I just don't like the look of it. But for now, that works for me. Now you'll see me moving things individually because I'm leery now of moving things in linked fashion, especially around this area since that's where I had the problem yesterday. So I'm just kind of moving things one by one. It feels safer for me because I don't want it to to go nuts again. Just double checking all the angles again, make sure that again. So yeah, that's a start on the food line. So then maybe when you get closer to the end, that's where like the condiments and stuff are, or like you have the drink bar. So maybe maybe we have like oops. A little refrigerated container here. I can figure out how to make one that looks like it belongs here. Have one with bottled drinks, and then have another machine that you could just place your cup in front of, underneath, and then you punch the brand that you want. So like needs to be up a bit, I think. Like what to make that out of? What kind of containers do I got? Don't think we want it out of a backpack. I'm yawning, but I got plenty of sleep last night. I just think I'm feeling that lazy day kind of thing. A holiday here, so hubby's downstairs watching a movie while I do this, and my son's at a neighbor's mowing their lawn or something. Looking for a container or something that I can use that will look like I try to use things that will look that I don't have to keep building it from scratch if I don't have to. We just don't have a lot of flexible items. Let's see, maybe in the tables. It was. In fact, I think that's probably what I will use. Table of some sort. Like the metal table. Yeah, the flat metal table. I think that would work best. I'm gonna try it. It may not work like I'm thinking, but I'm gonna give it a shot because, like I said, a lot of this you're not gonna figure out until you give it a whirl. And if it doesn't work out, then for next time not to use that. And if it does, then hooray! That's one more thing you can put under your belt that you say, hey, I figured out how to make this. And then you can either reuse it in another build sometime, or I don't know why that went wonky. I kind of turned it oddly. But I was saying you could use it in another build sometime, or make improvements on it. Every time I move it, it just kind of goes a little squirrely. There it goes again. I don't know why it does that. Like it's testing me. Can you deal with it? And I say, no. Okay, and then this one, maybe I turn it this way and use it for the top. See if I can get it to size down just the right size. That's another thing when you're trying to like figure out sizes for things, you adjust, readjust, adjust, readjust. You just keep going with it until it works like you want. Now I'm kind of going not only by the width of this, but I'm also checking out the glass. And looking at how the legs are sticking out. How that's gonna look. Where everything is in relation to everything else. And maybe this is my popcorn machine for all I know. Won't that be a trick? Making popcorn. Okay, so I got the back and the top kind of like I want. Oh, there it goes. It's all kind of neatly boxed in, and all you see is like the gadgetry up there, which is okay. Especially if I decide to make this the popcorn machine, then it's not a major issue there. So for the bottom, I'll probably just repeat the. I'm going to need at least 3 more pieces of the table, so we'll get 3 more. See, I didn't know that this was what I was gonna be making today. I mean, I had some ideas, but started off thinking it's gonna be the soda machine, and now I think it's actually looking more like it could work as the popcorn machine. So yeah, that even with all the odd little curving of the table, it still works out okay. So now, do I put 2 sides of glass, or do I go ahead and enclose it with the metal? I think I'll enclose it with the metal and just have the glass front. For one, that leaves it only the main front glass that I have to kind of put in the popcorn. I guess is the front and like the top, rather than the front, the top, and the sides. So it's kind of cheating it a little bit, but I think it'll be alright. But we're gonna see how this looks first before I settle on that idea. I may have to actually tough it out and build the popcorn from scratch all the way around. Now the tricky part is getting this to not look forced. I may have to enlarge the glass a bit just to get it to work with this new shape that I have. Could it be too big? think it'll be alright. Thankfully I have, you know, the countertop that it can sink into, and it looks okay. Now this might bother me some, but I'm just looking at it from this side first. See how we go from there. Now this might become somebody's crane game or a gumball machine. Who knows what this might trigger in somebody's brain as far as what they might want. Some guildies waking up, coming online. Got the corners that meet there, so we're gonna in a little bit. Okay, so just a little too big. That works a little better. So now we've got an encased little. Now maybe this comes somebody's little TV or something, or a microwave, or rotisserie chicken or something. It could be all sorts of stuff. For me though, I'm gonna aim for the popcorn machine. Now, a popcorn machine, let's see, I'm trying to think of what one really looks like. I think it usually has like a little bucket of some sort up here for the popcorn. I'm not sure if I want to use a bucket, a bowl, maybe the pot, a silver pot. Yeah, I think that'll work. Sink it down. Pop them in there. And I don't know how it really looks. I have to Google up some popcorn machine images to get it exact. It's gonna be just kind of a general idea of what it's supposed to be. Maybe that's too high. I don't know. Oops, moving the glass there. Well, heck, I'll move the glass for now so that it's hot. That sounded nasty. You see me looking at my screen weird. It's the light from the window in the back is causing a bit of a glare. I don't want to really change up the curtains because it's better for the natural light to get in. But okay, maybe I want the handles to be to the side, not facing the front. I assume the pot's not going to be floating in mid-space there, so we're going to have to like hook it up some way. Can't even see where the handles are. So the other thing's sticking in their way. Okay, there we go. And then fill it up with popcorn. Now, before I do that, I'm going to have a look here. The people that work here would need to have access to the machine. And that thing just does not want to cooperate. It just keeps going berserk. Anyway, very cranky furniture here. So yeah, maybe open back here somewhat, and then those that work here can just reach over, fill up the popcorn, and have it pop some more. Maybe it has like a door that opens, and it's not just open like that. But for now, we're going to leave it open. If nothing else, to make it a little easier to move things around in there. So you're probably wondering, popcorn. What in the world am I going to use as popcorn? I went through many ideas. Like I said, I used the hanging fruit before, but I don't want it to look poopy color, which is ironic because what I'm going to try and use is the toilet paper rolls. And my only big worry is that it's going to take a lot to fill this up to look like it's a container filled with popcorn. And it may destroy my plans, because if it's costly in decor, then I want to use that for other things. And not have it spent on just this one particular item. It's cool. My husband suggested I use the WildStar, because he thought, well, sheep is fluffy and everything, but I don't think I can get away with that because of the way the pattern is done on the I don't think it will lend itself well to resembling popcorn. Plus, it's awkward to try and hide the horns and the little bow at the butt. It would take a lot of them to kind of make it up. It almost looks like a marshmallow, doesn't it? So, yeah, maybe this idea is a fail to begin with, because there's no way to put something in that resembles popcorn. We also looked at I think it's Sleeping. Yeah, the Flower Patch decor. The issue with it mostly is that it moves. I don't know if it's a good idea that the popcorn moves. Plus, it's got, the green bits. And again, it'll take a lot of them to fill in the box. And if you're trying not to get the green to show, then that doesn't leave you very many, so it just takes even more. And again, like I said, it moves, so I don't think that'll work. So if anybody that watches has, suggestions on what to use to make popcorn, then I'm all ears. But it's gonna be a trick, I think, to come up with something. Because with the popcorn, it's gonna be like I figure. Well, you can see just the one little piece, and that's as small as it'll go. The one little piece. I could probably put hundreds in here, and it may or may not work like I expect it to. But I just haven't found anything else that even comes close. There's nothing that looks white and fluffy or popcorny. There's just very few things that come white anyway. And doesn't have, lots of extra stuff sticking out. Like, I think there's a chair with like some of the cotton stuff coming out. I thought maybe I should just do a bunch of those, and again, that would be, yeah, here it is, the big worn easy chair. If you look, there's like a little bit of stuffing that's showing. If I could just take the stuffing, part of it, and maybe pile it in, that might work okay. But see, even then, it's kind of flat itself. It's like some torn bits, but it doesn't. I just haven't found anything that really works for resembling popcorn, except the toilet paper. That's the only thing I can think of that might work effectively, but it's going to take a ton of toilet paper. And here I'm almost at the halfway point, and there's still so much to do. So I don't know if it'll be feasible or not. It might just be too costly, decor-wise. Way too costly. Let's say I just dedicate, 50 pieces to it. Oh, I reached the max, so gotta make room for it anyway. That might come back to bite me in the butt later when I'm coming down to the wire and I have something that I must have it. It just has to go here, and then I have to compromise. Okay, do I do away with the popcorn, or do I add the item that I must have? Because the popcorn isn't like a must-have. I mean, it would be cool to have. It'd be great if I can pull it off, but it just might not be possible at this point. Some of my guildmates are on the mission to try and find the carrot plushie. I told my husband when I first heard about the pets and knew that there was a carrot one coming, I said, my luck, because it'll be the one that I want the most, it'll be the rarest. And I guess I'm a psychic now, because that's exactly how it's turned out. It's like all of the other pets just about have all been located, and everybody knows where to get them, whether it be from a dungeon or the bags of the new contracts, rewards and stuff, or whatever. Challenges, you name it. Everybody knows where most of the pets come from now, except the carrot pet, the one I want the most, and it just irks me. It's like typical. It'll be from some dungeon or raid that I'll never see, from some boss I'll never kill, bind on pickup, so I won't be able to buy it. Why is it that? I guess it's turning and I just don't see it because it's so tiny. Like right behind the square there. I'm just playing around with, your popcorn, you don't want it looking uniform. My toilet paper popcorn. That I can't see. Where's the popcorn? And some would say, well, you've got that black hole thing going. But that's okay, except popcorn kind of has those kernels, those annoying little kernel things. So, you know, maybe that's the kernel of the corn, the dark, crunchy bit that nobody likes. Just fiddling around with this, it's probably not gonna come to anything, but you can see there's 4 pieces in this, so like it's so empty in there. I could, you know, try and shrink it down even more, maybe get away with it that way. I don't know. Maybe it's golden popcorn. Maybe I can just get away with using the treasure pile as my golden popcorn. That work? Think that would work? Does it even, you know, go down that small? And then I've got, well, I actually need to have the, I think it's the replica. It doesn't have all of those pots on there. I'm not sure. I probably have it in my bank. I have to go and fetch that. But maybe I use that instead. Well, here, I'll go get that. We'll give it a try. Because I know it's gold, but you know, maybe it'll work with the setting that it's in, that people will buy that it's supposed to be popcorn. I just don't know if that shrinks down to a good size. What am I doing way over here? Guess I did that because my housing thing was on cooldown. I had to get there directly. But yeah, if my guildies manage to find out where that thing drops, I will be all over it. Even if it means I have to visit the same dungeon over and over for weeks, I will do it if that's what it takes to get that pet, because I want the carrot. So what am I doing? Right. Looking for the replica. Replica dragon horde. That's what I want. So just a quick stop in and out, and back to housing we go. Back to the quest of finding the popcorn. We need popcorn. Snack bar just doesn't seem like a snack bar without popcorn. So we're going to pretend that this is going to be like really buttery popcorn. Let me pray that this size is down small enough. I think it's going to suit it. Now it's just to get it to not be poking out where it shouldn't be poking out. Now we see that there's going to be like the issue of making it look like it's full rather than floating in midair there. First, we're going to grab those toilet paper rolls and put those back into the crate. I'll probably find another use for them. I've used them as hats for creatures, or like I made a chef hat out of a couple in a previous build, and so it's not like they will go to waste. I just don't want to leave them there if I'm not going to use them. Wish there was like a search function on this thing to go through the whole list every time, or at least have it stay where you were. There you go. Okay. So now I have to think, okay, how high do I want the popcorn to be in the bucket thing? Or is it sticking out there? Still sticking out there, so I'm gonna have to resize it again. I'm just trying to get it to butt up right against the glass here without completely going through it and having it not poking out the back there. Anyone watching, maybe come back tomorrow and I've got it all, changed up again. Who knows? I have a tendency to, try out different things and see what works best for me. Okay, so I kind of got it inside. It's slightly sticking out there, but I don't think it's that big. Kind of at the height that I want it. So now, do I fill in the bottom? Because I only have one of these, and it was hard enough to get a hold of, because it's one of those things that I've only been able to get a hold of on and you don't see them too often. Usually it's the treasure pile one, and that one, as you saw, was cumbersome because it has all of the other junk in it. And it's one of those, I'll show you what I was talking about, where it's kind of glitchy. You turn it upside down, the gold disappears, but the items stay in a weird way. So it's not like I could lay that, up against flat, against the screen there, because there wouldn't anything show through. But now I could maybe see if it shows sideways. I might could get away with doing that. It just depends on what's sticking out here in the front. Like this will probably be poking out, and that will be an annoyance I don't want. But I'm going to see if I can pick this in here. it's gonna be an issue with that. So yeah, it's just not an easy piece to work with. So I'd have to either get my hands on some more of the Dragon Horde replica ones, or just devise a way to fill this bottom up with I don't know what. Kinda looks like popcorn, maybe. Order. Be nicer if that, make it bigger and have it go right to the edge there. What I might get away with doing is putting some things on the sides here to block up bits is showing. But then I have this big hunky bit coming out. So then I'd have to, okay, well, what am I going to use there? Maybe I've extended a tray of some sort so that it hides it, but a lot of it's just, playing around with the items, figuring out how you want to try and put them together. Maybe this works, maybe this doesn't. And then, depending if I can get a hold of maybe one or two more, can fill in this, or depending on how small I can make it, maybe fashion ones. That's as small as it'll go. It's just a considerable size, so it's not like I can make a giant bucket of popcorn out here that somebody might want to buy. But I'll have like some containers here that would theoretically be used for the customers to say, yes, I want some popcorn, and then they have that. Yeah, for now, I'm going to go ahead and bump up the last guard there. Yeah, that's one idea. Popcorn machine. Does it work? Maybe. Maybe I can get away with it. And again, as I put in these pieces, that'll give me a better idea if it's too long or if I need to shorten it some. For now, I'd like to keep it this length if I can. But again, I have to keep an eye on my item count because there's so much more that I would like to work on to add. Like, I still have the cabinetry down here to do. If I figure out a way to add that pop machine that I had originally started to build on, then I got to think about the pieces that are going to go into that. And then I got to consider, okay, what other kind of things would I have out here? Is it just the popcorn machine, just the fruit bowls and salads, and just the drinks? That's it. Then I probably will definitely cut this in half. And then I'm thinking, okay, then I've got all of this space. What do I use the space for? Do I just add more tables? It's just it evolves as you go. So like here, I'd already discussed that I don't want the toilets just to be sitting there like that. So I don't think I want the walls. I always tend to leave one something as if I'm getting rid of it, just in case I'm going to try it out again. I don't have to rebuy it just to try it. Let's see. We'll start off with 2 first, top and a side. Because I'm thinking I can get away with not having to have this side of the wall if I just have it built into this. We'll see though how that works. And do I want the machinery to be hooking through? Or not? That's... Do I want like a little roof for the building, or do I just want to tuck it in? And then if I tuck it in, you know, is it sticking through like so? You've always got to be watchful of, you know, where you're putting things. So if I leave the roof there, and then I copy this one to put it in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this one flush with this wall here, so that there's no gappage built right in. And we're going to move this one out. I'll make it flush with the edge here. Of course, because these adjusted their height a little bit. So just a little nudge. Okay, so now you kind of got an idea that you want your spacing to be a little different as far as where the stalls are. Okay, now what do I want to use for the separations? Do I want to bring these forward so that the doors are going to be flush with the front, like so. And I'm always winging it when I build it. While I have an idea of kind of things I want, when it comes right down to the building part, it's just a lot of experimenting and trying stuff and finding what works, what doesn't, and then just adapting. Like with the popcorn machine, I thought I would get away with doing the toilet paper rolls, but the more I looked at it, the more I realized I was just going to eat up a ton of decor that I just don't want to spare on that just one piece. So get a couple more floor pieces. I know I'm going to probably need at least one for the side here, and I'm going to try and get away with using some pillars for the other bits. But I need one floor piece. And I think once we finish this up, I will call it a day. Today's building thing. So this will be turned into our, you know, facilities, the toilets. And I've been using the casting pillars because they're the most metallic looking. So they've been a running theme through this entire build. This doesn't like that spot there, does it? It's something, I don't know, something weird about this area here. It's uncooperative. But before I go, though, I will show the souvenir shop that I've included. I talked some yesterday about how I kind of wanted to change up a few things in the front, where, not in the front, but where the elevator is. And I went ahead and did that yesterday, and I think it's a good start. Didn't, you know, be too much to finish it up. That's, won't go any deeper. I'm gonna try and experiment here, though. So now that's still not gonna let me see that in, is it? And now it's disappeared. Okay, so maybe I'll need more than that to just fill in the bits that I want. I'll go hunting for that pillar later. I'm not gonna do my last bits on that. So let's see how far we can get it, how big we can get it, that it'll still be sunken down to a reasonable size. So it looks like that's gonna be a good amount. So what I will do is I will adjust the width of this to match the width of the pillar that I'm going to use. So we'll just tuck this in. Just suit it to sizing of the so that I don't have to include any more of the wall on the front, and it just looks like that, you know, these are the doors. So then we're going to copy this, and of course it goes way over there. But we'll work with it. And sitting at 787. Drop it down. Make sure it matches. That's the delay of having to work with not being able to use the copy paste as effectively as you'd like. When it's not cooperating, you kind of start having a tendency to say, well, I'm not going to use it anymore until it behaves. Okay, so we got this one where we want it. Now I've got to figure out how I want to do the center part. So, got lucky with that one working like it's supposed to. So do I just want one in the middle and then just push everything else over to the side? I think that would work best. It's, you know, one less piece that I have to include if I'm going to double up the pillars. So then I just start moving everything over so that it matches. Now I'm looking and I see that the roof part is not completely flush with the top here. So maybe I lower it a bit just so it's a little more snug and it doesn't look out of place. Sure, more of the top shows, but I think I like that more than having the poking through where it looks like it's floating. So that's at 664. There you go. You kind of got a little bit of a facilities there. Took a few pieces, but you know, at least it looks a little bit more tidy. Anyway, what I was referring to before is one thing I did add was I added like a start here sign. I was hoping that it would be clear that this would be the start part of it, but the more I got to looking at it, the more I thought maybe people wouldn't know exactly what was going on. So this is like start here and then they just kind of follow along. But this part here, I told before yesterday that I wanted this structure to be a little bit more useful than just as a cover-up for the hatch house. So I refurbished this part a little bit. I've added in a door, a non-working door. You see it from both sides. I've added in a countertop and a computer thing. I've added in some balloons and some shelves. What I plan to put here is like the different plushies that you might see around the park. You'll be able to purchase some of those here. Probably will install some glass that goes about halfway down, similar to how they work up here in the front, where it's like there's a bit of a guard between the employee and the visitor. I still have this to work on as well. There's just lots of little things that are going on now that I've been tinkering with. I like the spotlight. I may add a second and put one directly above each of the booths, but then I don't particularly like the look of this. The main thing I have to worry about is the wires of it hooking to the top up here. I'm pretty sure that's why I left this showing, but hopefully it doesn't detract too much from the overall aesthetics or however you want to put it. You know, just little details that are going to come in. I'm still considering what to do for the centerpiece here. I've thought about maybe using a fountain, or maybe I just have a little bit of rock and then one of those proto plushies standing on top with his little golf club, you know, just to kind of follow the theme through. You'll also notice that I've finished my tower, and it's got a little plushy proto star dude on up there, kind of like the company's monogram, whatever. So it's coming along piece by piece, and while I still have about half of the decor limit to go for the upper area, I'm starting to feel nervous about thinking about all the things I want to add and whether or not I'm going to have the space to put it in. So as it gets closer, I'm probably going to be, you know, more and more antsy about it, about all the pieces, because, you know, there's a few pieces I'd like to add here. I like how this one is really filled up. I've got quite a few plushies here. If necessary, I can remove a few and just keep it a little bit more sparse on that. But like, I still have a lot of these to install, which I will probably do eventually. I've added a little Oran home here, try and tie in the theme. Added some Hugel statues. again, to try and make the theme go through with that particular home. It's just trying to make it look nice, but not to overdo it. And added another row of whirligigs, whatever those are. Hey, there's a hole that disappeared earlier. Send you home. And of course, the eatery is a big deal. I still got seating to incorporate. Haven't decided if I'm going to go with single individual seats or if it's going to be like little quarter rounds. A lot of little details, and it's those that will quickly eat up the decor count. So I'm getting nervous about it, but not like super concerned, because like, you know, even this, I still have to put in some trim here to hide some of this unseemly bits that are there, because the floor is above the ground. So you know, it's gonna be, I can't remember. It's just things that, you know, I have to work on, and we'll see how it goes. And then of course, once I get it up here pretty much squared away as to how I want it, then I have downstairs to work on, which is a whole nother ball game, because I have some ideas of what I want to put there, but since I've not tried something along those lines, it's going to be a challenge, an extra challenge for me. Anyway, I think that's all for today. I will probably work on it a little bit on my own time, but as far as broadcasting, that's it for me today, I think. So I hope you enjoyed it. And again, if anyone has any questions, suggestions, requests, just give me a word, and I'll see what I can do. That includes not just on regular days like this, but on Wednesdays when I have my totally housing only broadcasts that I do every week. I do housing tours at that time, so if there's homes on Jabbit EU that is open to the public and that I haven't toured before, but that you think it would be a good home to do, and specifically I'm looking for those that don't already have videos made of them, to showcase those that haven't been showcased before. So if you know any homes like that that I haven't been to yet, or I don't have on my list, then be welcome to send in those suggestions. I'm more than happy to go where people would like to go. So until next time, have a good day.